A week ago, the Jackson mayor declared a state of emergency because of water problems. As 16 WAPT Scott Simmons report, a lot of people are still waiting to find out what happens next.
A city spokesman says the city of Jackson did ask for a loan from the Department of Health to address a water line problem in the Chastain area, but that the city is still trying to access emergency funds. The mayor wants the city to extend his emergency declaration for 30 days. The Jackson mayor declared a state of emergency, stating it could speed up the process of fixing the city's water woes. That declaration expired last Thursday, and despite our efforts, Tony Yarber wasn't taking questions Monday.
I can't imagine having this problem be on my watch. I really can't.
How long has this been a problem in front of your home?
About 5 years.
Belhaven Street in front of her house looks like an obstacle course of cones and barricades. There is obviously a water leak, plenty of potholes.
Really upsetting for there to be no effort made to do much about it. And they do come. I mean, maybe once a year they'll come and try to fill it up.
The city has yet to access the sales tax monies raised to pay for water and sewer repairs. The planned work still has to be approved by an oversight commission. But in the wake of the mayor's declaration, city council members are still waiting for answers.
The mayor called the emergency. Not aware of specific action that we've addressed and fixed the problems.
What capacity of resources they bring to the city. What specific problems are we addressing to ensure that we don't do broad stroke initiatives without solving specific problems.
The mayor is short on details regarding what those other emergency monies might be. The city says it is still a work in progress and that 30 more days for emergency declaration would give the city more time to try and quickly address its water woes. At City Hall, Scott Simmons, 16 WAPT News.
16 WAPT Scott Simmons just got back from talking with city officials. He joins us live from McWillie and Chastain Drive. Scott.
Well, Tammy, the city says this is one of the most pressing problems with the city's water problem. Check it out. Clear evidence of a 24-inch water main break here leading from the Chastain water tower up the hill. The city and the mayor says this one's got to be fixed quickly or it will get worse. We learned during the mayor's last emergency declaration that no additional work was done, but there was paperwork filed for a loan from the Department of Health. The city would have to repay the interest if it's approved. The mayor went before the council today offering a rough sketch of the work that could be done under another emergency declaration. But he admitted he did not have all the information ready to show the council. He wants another declaration, this time for 30 days. He says it will give the city more time to access emergency monies.
If you ask people around this city, the state of our infrastructure is an emergency, and they don't care about a plan. They don't care about any of these grand schemes. They want to see something done. So we initiated this plan in terms of the emergency declaration in order to access funds that allowed us to do something right now.
The city's public works director says this problem here at Chastain Waterline is going to get worse. The city council could be called back in for a special meeting as early as tomorrow to vote on that 30-day declaration. Meanwhile, the mayor has a planned meeting tomorrow with FEMA, with the governor and other state lawmakers next Monday. More details on that coming up live at 6.
16 WAPT Scott Simmons is at Jackson's City Hall with the very latest tonight. Scott.
The Jackson mayor met with State Department leaders for about 30 minutes Monday to talk about Jackson's recent rash of waterline breaks and to ask for help. The governor wasn't there.
The state officials expressed their willingness to work with us as much as possible, but they also said that funding is limited, which we all know.
Last week, city leaders said they were applying to the Department of Health and FEMA, but no applications have been filed yet. The mayor had to fine-tune a new 30-day emergency declaration plan after city council members asked to see more detail of what will be done.
But in order to fix the problem, we have to have a solid plan in place to fix the problem. We can't go off and spend money without a solid plan, without a strategy, without priorities being placed on paper.
The city has dealt with more than 750 waterline breaks this year alone. The result, according to city officials, of old pipes, shifting Yazoo clay, and years of maintenance neglect. The mayor says he's spelling out what will be done in this emergency plan, but it is expected to be separate to the sales tax money being collected for city street and water repairs, work that first has to be approved by an oversight commission.
We're waiting on that commission to make a decision now. There's a final draft that's before them. They're deliberating. We hopefully can get a vote on that and see monies being spent within the next few weeks.
The mayor's emergency declaration deals with spending emergency monies right now. There's also the sales tax monies that are being collected designed to repair roads and water problems in this city. That money has to first be approved by an oversight commission before it can be spent. At City Hall, Scott Simmons, 16 WAPT News. Yeah, check it out. This is part of the Chastain water line mess. What the city predicts will cost $300,000 just to fix it. The city says it plans to borrow state money to do this job, but it comes at a time as the city is collecting a sales tax to fix problems like this. Mayor Tony Yarber's revised emergency plan calls for tackling 3 pressing repair projects: a 24-inch water main at the Chastain water tank, a 20-inch main on Sywell Road, and a water main on Eastover Road. The city sent a letter of intent to borrow $2.4 million from the Department of Health to start that work ASAP. The city recently started collecting a 1% sales tax, money designed to fix sewer, road, and water problems in the city. Before they can use it, an oversight commission has to approve the city's plan.
We're waiting on that commission to make a decision now. There's a final draft that's before them. They're deliberating. We hopefully can get a vote on that and see monies being spent within the next few weeks.
But if you're looking for a vote, we're not prepared to vote on it right now. And if you did vote on it, it probably wouldn't pass because we got too many questions about it.
Several members of the commission say they are not ready to sign off on anything. Part of the city's master plan is to use millions of dollars collected thus far as leverage to borrow $50 million in bonds to do improvement work over the next 20 years.
There were no other projects listed in Belhaven. But we had 4 water line breaks 2 weeks ago in Belhaven.
Duckworth and Perry say the first 50 projects listed on the long-range plan did not seem to address the city's most pressing problems.
It just seems like it's short on telling us long-term how we're attacking the big problems of the city, and there's certainly enough revenue there. It's $200+ million over 20 years.
City leaders say the city's crumbling infrastructure is the result of age and neglect. The administration says it's just trying to start fixing some of these problems now before it gets worse. The city sent a statement late this afternoon pointing out there are 10 members of that commission, and if they meet later this month, they'll provide them with more information. In regards to the mayor's emergency declaration, the city council is not expected to meet until next Tuesday. Live in Jackson, Scott Simmons, 16 WAPT News. A river of water flowing across Woodrow Wilson. For weeks now, it has been bubbling up from the median and forcing cars to splash their way through and over the now crumbling concrete. Some nearby residents are baffled.
I want to know what's going on. I mean, it just seems like nobody's doing anything. Nobody's even talking about it.
The city says it is a break in a 36-inch water line here on a very busy travelway. According to the city of Jackson, this is no small repair job. In fact, the pipe that's underground here was installed around the 1960s. It's actually made of concrete. The city has issued an emergency declaration just to try to expedite the process. Jackson says the constant flow of water has prevented them from needing to issue a boil water notice. The VA hospital is nearby, but the hospital leaders are not concerned because the VA has its own water well and its own water tank on site. Doyle Hayes lives nearby, but he does not have a water well or much faith in the water is safe to drink notice.
I don't trust the water, just stop, a lot of times it'll come in brown to the house and it's just, it's not drinkable in my opinion.
Jackson leaders say be patient and try not to drive through here if you can avoid it. The pipe that is needed has to be custom built. The city is trying to speed the process of awarding contracts to get the work started. But right now, it can't say when that work will start. In Jackson, Scott Simmons, 16 WAPT News.